The professor is talking about the collapse of the wave function. How does this process happen in your life? How does the question of you creating your own reality occur? Let's observe very carefully, because this will make a big difference in your life. He is saying that there is the wave of infinite possibilities, or the waves of infinite possibilities that permeate the person are close to the person. It's a way to exemplify this, a metaphor, a method he brought here for us to understand how this wave functions in your life and how it transitions from a wave of possibilities to something physical, like a car in your life. Let's pay attention so we can realize how fundamental this is, so that you can create your reality in an increasingly conscious way. This wave is shapeless, and the wave of infinite possibilities. Everything you can imagine. Anything that exists in the physical world already exists in this wave of infinite possibilities, in the quantum vacuum. And the quantum vacuum is omnipresent. It is inside you and outside this fabric of space-time. This reality that we see manifests from the quantum vacuum. It emerges from the quantum vacuum. It would be like a fountain. You have a fountain turned off. For example, the water is inside, bubbling inside, and when you turn on the fountain, the water rises. That water that rose is the manifestation, but inside the fountain there is water ready to rise, and when it rises, it would be the O manifestation. It's a way of saying that what he is describing transforms into a mermaid. When a person decides on car X or car Y, on a Corolla or a Mercedes, that Mercedes already exists in the field of infinite possibilities. Mercedes, Corolla, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, anything already exists. But when the person decides they want it, they have decided deep in their heart, deep in their mind, deep in their heart. It's a way of saying, because it's the feeling when you think. And your subconscious is also in harmony with this conscious thought of yours. You start to feel it, and you feel it. Feel it in your heart, let's say. But that feeling is certainty. You chose, I want this car X, such model. When you do that, this possibility, these infinite possibilities, it takes that car you want, let's see it this way. Make that choice and brings it into your field of probabilities. This becomes closer to your life. And if it is on its way to you, your electromagnetic field now has this probability within you. It descends from this car X. And this energy, this frequency, this specific information that you chose is now part of your vibration. What will happen? You will be attracted to this thing, this object, and this object will be attracted to you. So you are attracting each other. This is called the collapse of the wave function. You made a choice. Now this choice will manifest in your life because the observer interferes with the behavior of matter, and you are the observer or the participant. So when you choose, now matter will react according to your choice. And you will attract situations, people, knowledge, objects. You will attract things that are part of this collapse of the wave function of this choice of yours. It is said that this wave surrounds and transforms into a mermaid after the person chooses. It's a metaphor, but it's in this way that I just explained to you. That's how it works. Exactly. In this way. The collapse of the wave function. What you create as your own reality is the most real thing that exists. It's the same as saying, everything you ask for in prayer, you will receive. Believing that you have received it, you will receive it. In a different way. It's just that you have to be sure of it. This certainty is what hinders people from achieving their dreams, their goals, because there are goals that take time. Why? This involves other people. I'll give you an example of the car when you choose a Mercedes of a certain year, such and such model. There are people involved in this, working to manufacture this Mercedes. Suppose that suddenly you want a specific model Mercedes, brand new, 2024, in white color, and you are the one who wants that model, but at a certain point you chose, created, okay. At a certain moment, the workers at that factory decide to go on strike and don't want to work, and they stay on strike for a month. If they hadn't gone on strike, your Mercedes would have been ready. In a week it was almost being completed. But since they went on strike, it got delayed. Now there's a queue. It will take longer. This delay sometimes happens with your goals because it involves other people. That's why it's necessary to have patience. And something very important that the teacher often teaches, which is letting go. You can't be anxious. You have to trust that everything is organizing itself in the best possible way so that this desire of yours, this intention of yours, materializes in your life. Because when you have the feeling of anxiety, this is not happening. It's taking too long. When you manifest this feeling, it delays the process because you also trigger the so-called Zeno effect. You paralyze, you create a feeling of anxiety where you want it so much, you focus so much on it that you feel this need that you must have it. And you can delay the process. And it's necessary for you to let the process flow. You need to enter the flow of everything. Do what needs to be done. Work, study, help. Let go. Relax. There was a video where I said that people need to get out of their comfort zone and have to work hard, instead of sometimes choosing activities that only bring pleasure. There was someone on the channel who didn't like it, said they no longer trust the channel because I said that a person can't live, can't have fun. I didn't say that. I said that at certain times you have to do more things than you would even like to. If you need to complete a task on a Saturday or Sunday, and you decide to go to a bar, have a beer. But you say you want prosperity, want money, want to resolve this situation. Only when an opportunity arises for you to do the most you can do, you decide to go to a pub, drink cachaça, drink whiskey. But you should have done a task. This will delay the process because you should have done your best, done your part. And when you block this work, you change an entire process that was happening, which would have reached your life more quickly. Of course, people need to relax. That's obvious. That's great. Take a walk in the park, do activities you enjoy, go to the movies, go to the theater, do whatever you want, have fun. Life will become more abundant, happier. But there are certain moments when you need to do your utmost. The utmost in your activity. Do you need to visit one more client? Go visit one more client. Need to make one more call. Work a little beyond hours in your business. Do you have to have a meeting outside of work hours? Go do it. Do your utmost. If you are thinking about prosperity, then you have to focus on prosperity. Do your utmost. And let go, relax, then go for a walk, have fun, do whatever you want. But at certain moments you have to do your utmost. And the whole will be part of it. And some physicists, scientists, materialists, and usually atheists, say that the collapse of the wave function is a mathematical abstraction. It would be something imaginary, only possible on paper. That it only works on paper and that it doesn't work in people's practical lives. This is what some physicists, deniers, scientists, materialists, and usually atheists advocate. They say that the collapse of the wave function is a mathematical abstraction. They say it's just an imaginary concept of thought to put in a notebook. If this were an abstraction, your cell phone wouldn't work. The light you turn on wouldn't work. The satellite wouldn't work. This current technology of humanity wouldn't work because most of it uses the collapse of the wave function, quantum entanglement, quantum tunneling, the principle of duality, wave-particle. In other words, quantum mechanics works. That's why you have light there. When you press your switch, your cell phone works, your computer, all this technology, most of it, satellite, atomic bomb, even to do negative things. All this technology works because quantum mechanics and the collapse of the wave function work in practice and work in your life too. There are many experiments that prove this. Of course, there will be a group that won't accept this because they don't want to accept it. God, that's the fact. Now, there's a very important point that the professor is bringing up, which is, if some people think it's a mathematical abstraction that doesn't work, there would be no problem in thinking negatively about your neighbor, wishing that his house catches fire or that he dies, etc. But if you do that, it can have consequences. Tragic, both for your neighbor and for you. If he is not very well prepared mentally, emotionally, if his vibration is not good, and his electromagnetic situation is not very strong, this type of thought can reach him. What some people call envy. Isn't that right? You emanated envy towards the other. Negative thought. This affects the person's life. If people don't believe in this, then it's fine for you to keep thinking this way because nothing will happen to your neighbor. But it's quite the opposite. If you think negatively towards people, it can also reach them. But it will also come back to you because when you send it, it returns. You might even affect the other person, and the other person is on a similar frequency and ended up capturing this type of information. But you will also receive it back, the same amount of energy that you sent. This can come back to you and become antimatter, causing illness, problems, debts, all kinds of issues you can imagine. Therefore, you can use this type of information to do good for people. In fact, there are several scientific experiments that show the power of prayer in life. When people make prayers directed at people, it improves the health of those people, and you don't even need to be in the same place as that person. However, there are other issues involved with the patient. But if the patient is receptive to these vibrations, you can pray for a person in Japan. Therefore, you can send these positive vibrations to people on the other side of the world or to someone you love. If you do this, even for your city, your state, your neighborhood, it changes the vibration of the place. There are several experiments that prove this. Therefore, it is very important for you to understand that the collapse of the wave function is something real and something proven in countless ways that it works. This is very powerful for you to use in your life. But there are issues you must not forget. You thought, felt, created. Now you let go and trust and do the most that needs to be done. What do you want? If you want financial prosperity, you have to go in that direction. If you want to expand your assets, you have to study about finances, assets. It's having more than one source of income, saving at least 10% of what you earn, and learning about it. If you want to sell more, you have to study sales, marketing, you have to do what needs to be done, work, study, and something very important as well, which is helping, because when you help, you improve your vibration, your electromagnetic field. Remember, love your neighbor as yourself. Because when you are doing something good for others, in reality, you are doing it for yourself. Because your electromagnetic field will receive. The information you sent to the other. If you did a good deed for one person, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, if you spread this knowledge here, for example, of quantum mechanics, the reprogramming of the subconscious, when you share this, you are helping to transform people's lives, and this makes you automatically receive it back. It's what has already been taught. It is in giving that we receive. And if you want to learn more about subconscious reprogramming, use my tool, which is called Mental Resonance, which is transforming the lives of thousands of people. Just look here in the description of this video. There is a link with a video with more details. Thank you very much for your presence and see you in the next video.